Steve Marinucci welcoming you to another Beatles News Briefs for Fab4Radio.com. Today is September 24th, 2018, and we have a lot of news for you today. After a week of rumors and leaks, the Beatles officially announced the 50th anniversary celebration re-release of the Beatles White Album with new mixes, outtakes, and 5.1 mixes to come on November 9th. At the heart of the set is a 2018 remix by Giles Martin and Samuel Kell, who did the Sgt. Pepper remixes last year. In the more expensive packages, there are 3 discs of studio outtakes and the first ever full release of the 27 Escher demos that were recorded at George Harrison's house prior to the recording of the album. The set will come in various configurations, starting with a 2 vinyl LP version of just the album's 2018 mix. A second version of either 3 CDs, 4 LPs, or the digital versions will have the new mix and the Escher demos. Finally, there's the Big Bucks version, a 7-disc set with 6 CDs with all of the above except the digital, and a Blu-ray audio disc with high-res PCM stereo, DTS HD Master Audio 5.1, Dolby True HD 5.1, and a direct transfer of the mono mix. The mono mix, as you know, was originally released only in the UK and has several distinct differences from the stereo, like different animal and bird sounds on Piggies and Blackbird, a speeded up Don't Pass Me By, a different ending to Helter Skelter. It was released on CD for the first time with the mono box in 2009. I gotta say, they really dug into the well for the outtakes discs, which have 50 tracks with various takes of songs, including Good Night, Dear Prudence, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Birthday, and Rocky Raccoon, plus What's the News, Mary Jane, which is a personal favorite of ours, George Harrison's Not Guilty, a pre-Let It Be album version of Let It Be, and You're So Square, Baby I Don't Care, a track that of course was a hit for Elvis Presley. What it doesn't have, though, is the 27-minute Helter Skelter. The longest version on the set, a spokesman confirmed to us today, is 12 minutes and 49 seconds. You can see the full track list on the article I wrote that's on Billboard.com. The Super Deluxe version will also come housed in a 164-page hardbound book with detailed track information, rare photos, and copies of handwritten lyrics, recording sheets, and printouts. The sets will also be numbered like the original LP was. If I had to change anything, I think I'd have made some of the outtakes available on some of the smaller sets as they did with the Pepper set last year, rather than make the Escher demos available on the smaller sets. You can hear previews of the set on the YouTube videos the Beatles uploaded today, and previews of the studio, Escher, and instrumental versions of Back in the USSR on iTunes. Both links are on our Facebook Beatles News and Information page, which we encourage you to join. There are a couple of related White Album projects outside the Beatles. We've written on Access about Bruce Speiser's The Beatles White Album and the launch of Apple that comes out on November 22nd. It'll cover both the history of the album and the early history of the label. And then there's the Seattle band Apple Jam, which will release their 3rd album in November called Off the White Album, a collection of White Album era songs that were composed but never released by the Beatles. Some of the songs Stephen of the group told us today will be debuted live by Apple Jam December 1st at Neptune Theater in Seattle. Going back through the mists of time on this date in 1963, the British group The Springfields disbanded. The lead singer was the late great Dusty Springfield, who then signed with Philips Records and began her own solo career that included 4 top 100 hits the next year. Among them Wishin' and Hopin', which was number 6 in the summer of 1964 on Billboard in the U.S. She had a whole lot of top 100 hits in the 60s, by the way. On a memorable Ready, Steady, Go in October '63, she got to interview the Beatles And she asked Paul, "Do you sleep with your eyes open?" And he replied, "Well, I haven't seen it myself, but the fellas say that I do. They've sort of seen me sleeping with my eyes open." And one more historical note on this date: in 1975, John Lennon was given a reprieve to stay in the U.S. because the birth of his and Yoko's baby was imminent. Born on this date in 1942, both Linda McCartney and Jerry Marsden. And a history note: a few days in advance, 50 years ago this week on September 28th, the Beatles began their longest Hot 100 run as Hey Jude was at number one for the first of 9 weeks. A little bit of Billboard chart news. In the Billboard Top 200 chart that will go online Tuesday, Paul McCartney's Egypt Station will drop from number 1 to number 8 in its second week, with 37,000 units sold, down 76%. Billboard reported in a story on Billboard.com. On the current chart, by the way, Beatles 1 is number 161, and the Abbey Road album is number 177. Listen to our Beatles News Briefs daily on fab4radio.com. You can get the podcast on Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, TuneIn, Google Play, and Stitcher. Subscribe to us and let us know what you think. And interact with us on our Beatles News and Information page on Facebook, where you can get the latest Beatles news stories, both ours and what's going on around the world. Check out our Beatles News Insider blog at http://beatlesheadlines.blogspot.com, and if you have news tips, we'd love to have them. Send them to us at BeatlesNewsDesk@gmail.com. Thanks to our great friends at fab4radio.com, which is a great place to listen to great Beatles music when you're not listening to us. And thanks to you for listening. Have a great day.